there, everyone, and welcome back to my next episode playing the TekTopia mod pack. I am Mar, and we are here on a super flat test world that I created just a little bit ago to do some playing around with the villagers. Because in the last episode we had talked about mending, essentially, and whether or not we wanted a way to get it outside of the, you know, AFK fishing for it, which, you know, is, yeah. And I think the conclusion is that I probably will add in a manual way to earn mending books, and I think this guy here might be the way to do it. Now, he is not a TekTopia villager, but he also is not turning into a TekTopia villager. I spawned him in with custom trade, and unlike, you know, all the, like, there's a couple other, those are my early attempts, him and him, they're my early attempts. They look kind of ditzy, you know, surrounded by all these TekTopia villagers who look very realistic, but, yeah, those, I had some early tests, and, the conclusion is that I can spawn in, like, normal vanilla villagers, and they're not instantly turning into, you know, TekTopia villagers. And I'm assuming they won't, you know, turn into them at some random point down the road. But I've created this guy here. I named him the High Enchanter, just so that he is kind of in the same vein as, you know, all the fancy villagers you get with the TekTopia mod. And if you trade with him, he will trade a mending book. I don't know what the trade should be, though. I just did this as a test. And then, apparently he's going to continue to unlock his normal normal vanilla trades as opposed to the TekTopia ones. Which is fine, I guess. But I don't know what to choose for this. Like, what do you guys think is a fair trade for a mending book? Considering we are playing the TekTopia mod, I was thinking maybe not doing emeralds, because once we get up and, well, I mean, I guess it could go either way. Like, right now, we're really struggling for emeralds. Like, I could spend my emeralds to get a mending book, or I could try and save them for, you know, another TekTopia villager, or another TekTopia structure, or, you know, whatever. Or I could, like, that would introduce a sort of a choice to it. But on the other hand, when I get towards the later stages of the game, and you know, we're getting emeralds by the buttload, basically, like what do we do then? Because then it's kind of insignificant paying 10 emeralds for a mending book. I was thinking maybe, do I do diamonds instead then? I don't really know what is a good trade, you know, if you know what I mean. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. What do you think is a good trade for a mending book? Something that is fair for early game, like something that's a little challenging but not completely out of reach, because, you know, we're going to want a mending book for all of our tools, all of our armor, and all that stuff. Our sword and whatnot. I prefer my infinity bow, so not really counting that in there. But, you know, we're going to want mending on everything. And if we die and lose all our stuff, we don't want it to be unreasonable to get back to that stage, you know, without too much struggle. But we also don't want it to get too overpowered. That's a really hard balance to find. Something that's, you know, kind of compassionate in the early levels, or early part of the game, but not, you know, abusable, I guess, at the end of the game. So let me know what you guys think. What is a good trade for this guy to have? Now the command is ridiculously long. There it is again. Oh, I was hoping it would put it in the chat, but apparently not. Well, here he is again. Hello. It's really long, and if it goes, I think it's 256 characters. If it goes beyond that, I would need a command block in order to spawn him in, which I can do, that's fine. But should I give him other trades, or should I just let the automatic ones do their thing? Like paper, I am assuming would be, you know, I guess we can find out. Let's see. Give me, no, what is that thing? It's, give me those. Pick it up. We'll pick it up. Fine, whatever. I do this, and then, oh, he wanted paper. Duh. Okay, so paper. Give me this, and fill my inventory with it. So, let's see what he'll give me as my next trade. Okay, he's locked out. Give me my paper back. Your next trade is a compass. For an emerald. Can I have a compass, please? I mean, I'm assuming these are just gonna be, you know, normal things that you would expect from vanilla gen. Let's see. 9 for an empty map. That's not bad. Can you unlock again? Can you give me a new trade? There we go. That's a ticket. Oh no. Well, he gave the green sparkles, but I don't see anything new. Is that the end of it? Surely that's not the end of it. Let's see. Can I have more emeralds, please? Let's do a whole bunch of maps. What about now? New trade? Nope, that's it. That seems to be it. He isn't unlocking anymore. Well, an empty map is kind of cool. I wouldn't say no to that. So maybe, do you think I should just leave it the way it is? I mean, the only problem I see is that we could then make these and get emeralds. We could get paper and make emeralds. And that's not really in the TekTopia style. I wouldn't mind being able to buy maps. Maybe I should see if there's a way where, like, if he only goes up to 4 trades, maybe if I can think of other things. I kind of like this one, paying something to get a map. That's kind of cool. But I don't really want to be able to earn emeralds off of him. I only want to be able to spend currency to get objects, like a map and an enchanted book. I feel like this would kind of break the TekTopia, economy, I guess. So let me know what you think. If I do end up going with this high enchanter dude, what other trades should I put in here? We've got an empty map. I suppose I could there's no point in putting in a map to find what is it, the underwater, what are those things called? You know, the guardian temple thingies? There's no point because we've got 2 of them sitting right off our coast. Maybe I should put in one to a treasure map to go find the mansion. That might be an option. Because if he only unlocks 4 things, then I like the empty map and obviously the mending book. That's the whole point. But then we have to figure out 2 other things to put in here. So let me know what you think. What should I have this guy trade? And how much should I have to pay to get whatever he's trading? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. We can continue to look at this, examine the options in the next couple episodes. Maybe we'll add the high enchanter once we add in the library and the normal enchanter. So maybe that can be kind of a goal, assuming we can figure out what we want the trades to be and everything by the time, you know, we get to that point. But yeah, let me know what you think, and I guess we'll just take it from there. But for now, I'm probably going to play around with him a little bit more. I want to see if I can get 4 mending book trades just to prove that it's not going to, well, hopefully prove that it's not going to unlock more than 4 things to buy from this dude. And then I will meet you back over in our real world. It is figuratively raining cats and dogs here back on our normal server, or not server, world, I should say. And I've been doing some thinking about what I want to work on next. We don't have the emeralds to afford, like, anything at this point. And that'll probably take a little while to get. I've been checking the merchant pretty regularly, and he's being kind of stingy with his trades, and I would really prefer not trading with him until I can afford to make a, you know, the most bang for my buck, I guess. And next up, of course, like we've been planning, is the library and the enchanter. But the library, I want it to be a pretty focal point in the village. I don't want it. I mean, on the one hand, of course, the town hall is your important building, but I feel like the library may be the one building that could surpass the town hall in, you know, looks and grandness and whatnot. So I'm thinking that maybe we should start building the library now. Even if we can't, you know, call it the library, even if we can't find, you know, put a librarian or enchanter in there, I think we could still build it and get it looking the way we want it to. And of course, that's after we breed up the cows here, because I want to make sure that I have a constant supply of food for our villagers. Our little child grew up and turned into a nitwit. So now we got 2 nitwits roaming around. Again, and there's no children currently for the school teacher, which is fine. Alright, how you guys doing? Is that a lot? I think I'm gonna breed you up 1 or 2 more times before I cull the herd, as it were. So my thinking is, originally I was thinking of putting the library out on the water. But I think I've changed my mind. And that's for 2 reasons. I think, given the space of, whoops, I didn't mean to jump all the way out. Given the space of the little lagoon here that we have, I think it might be better to leave this to build maybe a barge or something and call that the, like a trading barge type thing. I can build it in the middle of the water, build a little, I guess, pier out to it, and maybe, if I can, if they'll agree to use it, maybe I can put the merchant stall inside the barge and, make it, like, legitimately functional in that regard. And that means if I'm putting a barge out there in the water, I'll want to put the library somewhere else. And I might as well kill 2 birds with 1 stone and build it up here. Because I was thinking of having to dig out all of this dirt and ugly stuff because I didn't like the elevation change. But what if we built the library up here on the top and then put a retaining wall around it? That way we don't have to dig up all the dirt. We can still keep the height variation, and having a grand library sitting up here overlooking the rest of the village might look kind of cool. Looks like a creeper blew up there at some point. So that means I will need to figure out where I want the retaining wall. I will still have to dig out some dirt. I'm thinking of putting the retaining wall maybe in line right about here or thereabouts, and building it up to maybe this elevation or this elevation, and then just like digging out this 1 layer of dirt or something like that. I want to leave myself plenty of space to build the library, and I also want to make it so that the staircase leading up isn't super steep. I mean, I could do stair after stair after stair, but I was also considering, if the villagers are willing to walk up it, of just doing a half slab, or like a half block, a slab, slope moving upward. I think that might look a little better. But that means, I have to have more distance to still be able to make that height with such a more gradual incline. I will need a lot of stone. I want to build this, primarily for the retaining wall, I want to build it all out of stone and cobblestone. And I want to give it some measure of depth as well. So let's see, we've got, now that I've been using my Silk Touch a lot, I'm starting to get a fair bit of smooth stone, but I still haven't, like, since last episode, I really haven't gone out to get more cobblestone. Let's see, how is my silky pick look, or my fortune pick looking? Not too bad. I could take this out and dig up a whole bunch and see if I can't get some more cobblestone. That might be a good idea to do right now so that we can start working on the retaining wall. Although I do think I should figure out the general dimensions. So let's see, nether, let's grab ourselves some netherrack. This is my trash block of choice for designing things. Alright, so this is the gateway. This is where I want a path to lead once we get like a more concrete path type. And of course the merchant almost, I've never seen the merchant or the wandering, what are they called? The nomads. I've never seen them come from any other direction but out there, which kind of makes sense because I'm pretty sure the other 3 corners are all in water. So this is a pretty popular path, and I think it might be cool. I don't know, I'd have to figure out what to do over here, but it might be cool if I could get them to, like, pass by the library on their way here. So maybe make this path, lead it straight up to the library, and I want this path to be reasonably wide, so probably something like this, a nice 3 wide, and then just keep on carrying it up. Go away, you. Go away, you. I want to be able to climb this. Going straight. Oops, nope, so right there and there. This should be carrying on my straight 3 wide path. Now this level here is where I wanna build. So honestly, this might be a good point. Well, no, that seems a little close. Maybe we'll bring it out this way a little bit. So maybe here for the retaining wall? Would that be... That might do it right here. That wouldn't be too much to dig out. And I think that would still give me plenty of space, because remember, I want to build this all on the top of the hill, which means over here on this side, it drops right down into the ocean. So the retaining wall, I'll probably... Oh, that's going to be deep, isn't it? I don't want to dig, like, super deep into the water. How quickly does this get deep? Oh, pretty quickly. Man, look how ugly 1.12 oceans are. Ugh. Okay, so the retaining wall will probably come to about here, maybe? just because it's not too deep. This is pretty much the point where it starts getting really deep really fast. So what kind of a spacing is this going to give us? Because I don't want there to be any, I don't want like there to be this little spit. Well, maybe I don't care. I don't know. Maybe I don't care. But I'm thinking something like this for the retaining wall. It wouldn't be this high. I think I made it a little too high. Let's see. Where does this lead over to? I want to make sure I have a good amount of space available. There's my other end. Let's bring you over this way. Okay, I think this is probably a good spacing. Let's see, how wide is it from there to there? I guess I should say on the interior. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can barely see the little lines. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Ugh, I don't like 36. I want it to be odd, I think. So maybe if we bring it in 1, we'll have 35. That'll probably be a better line. Trying to decide which line it would be easier to do that on. I guess over here. So we'll make it over on this point here instead. Okay, so that's better, I think. Let's see. Now I have to count 35 this way. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. Right there. Alright, now the question is, do I want it to be a square platform, or do I want to give it a bit of a different shape? The staircase leading up is going to be offset, so that'll give it a bit of an interesting appearance. And if it's offset, the building itself will probably not fill the entire space either. Like, the building itself will probably come up to, like, maybe here, actually probably right where this section of grass is, and probably go all the way to the edge here, all the way to the edge here, and maybe have a bit coming to the edge here, and then sweeping back around, so that it'll be kind of like a right angle almost. And we can work with height as well to give it some different, like some interesting appearances, so that it's not all the same. So yeah, I think a square platform should work fine. And then that'll provide us, like, we won't even have to level out this a whole lot, because it's over on this side, the slopes aren't that bad until you start getting over here. So I think we can work with this a little bit better. Maybe have several, like, incrementally decreasing retaining walls. So that's not like a sharp drop like it will be over here, but it's also going to make use of some of the elevation we already have. Because I really don't want to do a bunch of digging. And it's not just because my shovel's about to break or anything like that. No, not that. It's just like, I just don't want to dig that much. And having a completely flat village will probably, you know, look a little boring or whatever. If we're already having it be pretty flat over in this area, which is fine, but we might as well make use of this hill since we have it, right? So let me work on this. I need to go and do a lot of digging to get some cobblestone. And then I'll start working on seeing if I can't come up with a decent, like a decent retaining wall design and whatnot. So let me work on this a little bit and I'll be right back. So a little bit of digging later, and I have gotten myself quite a bit of cobblestone here. Basically, I decided to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I knew I eventually wanted to do some sort of design with the staircase down to the mines anyway. So I went ahead and dug out the first line of blocks on either side of the staircase. And I went ahead and put in some, just some placeholders, these spruce beams. I'm gonna put beams going all the way up everywhere where you see one of these spruce blocks. Kind of the problem is I don't have any more spruce. I've got like 10 blocks and that's pretty much it. And, you know, as you can see, my axe has pretty much had it. So I probably won't be doing anything else, at least with the wood, hopefully. Otherwise, I'm going to have to just make myself another axe until after we get mending. The plan is to build these up and then dig out another layer, like a third one, like right here, for example. Dig another layer out, and that will be, like, what the design will be. So, like, let's say I get real boring, I could do something like that. Obviously, I won't do necessarily that, but that's the general concept. I'll dig out another layer of the blocks on, you know, further back than the spruce beams, so that I can come up with some sort of design. And the nice thing about the way the staircase is laid out is that the gap between each set of beams is exactly 3. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You know, it's just nice, even, or not even, but perfect numbers. I like working with 3s and 5s and 7s and stuff like that. So that's pretty good. This is pretty much all set, you know, for further expansion later on, once we get the spruce for it. Now, I want to come out here and work on the retaining wall a little bit. And it occurred to me while I was down there digging, you know, and thinking about working in, you know, in 3s essentially between each beam. I kind of want to build this retaining wall in segments. So there'll be a segment, like a column of stone bricks, and then similar to the spruce down there in the mine shaft, we'll pretend the stone bricks are the spruce beams, and then the cobblestone is the backdrop basically. And I was thinking, like, do I want to build it in sets of 3 or sets of 5? Like what sort of design do I want to go with? And I was thinking, I think I want to go in sets of 5. So what I need to do here is figure out exactly what that means for us. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 block. Essentially, because I've decided to actually go with like a specific design, I may end up having to make this bigger than 35 blocks. And another problem is that it may not line up perfectly with this right here, which is okay. You know, that's not the end of the world. I can always move the staircases if needed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there, I believe. Oh, look at how close we are. We're literally 1 block off from being perfectly centered. Although, now that I say that, I just realized something even better. I was making that 3 wide. If I make it 5 wide, it'll line up perfectly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then what? Right here, I think? So then, we'll just have the path be 5 wide, and it'll go directly between these 2 blocks. That actually works out, like, more than perfect. I can't even describe how perfect that is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 block. I guess I'm going to build this one up a little bit so I can see. And what do you know? I'm lined up perfectly. If I had done the math, I probably would have figured it out if I had done the math. Because 35 does go into 35 evenly. But I wasn't sure how many beams I was going to put up, you know. And I didn't feel like doing the math basically. So so this will work out perfectly then. I'll go in segments of 5 all the way around. Alrighty, I am back from a quick trip into the nether to get up some levels because I believe did I put them in here or... Yeah, look, my axe and my shovel have pretty much had it. And I didn't want to, like, completely break him. I figured I could save him and try and combine him with something later. So I grabbed a sort of trashy shovel out of my storage from when I went end raiding. And then I just made an axe, and I figured I'd try to enchant it. And we're actually up to Fortune next. I mean, we already have a Fortune 3 pick, so that's the main one, of course. So I figured, you know what, that's fine. I'll put it on an axe. That'll be just fine. And then, you know, I can use the axe on, you know, breaking leaves to get more saplings, for example, or something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and enchant that. I have done so much grinding in the nether to get levels that I've got a lot of quartz already. And, like, remember, this is 1.12. Getting quartz is an absolute pain. I mean, it's just an absolute pain. The rates are terrible. Yeah. So I find it a little amusing that I have that much quartz. I also got a whole bunch of lava buckets, and I'll show you why here in a minute. Let's first run over here real quick and enchant our axe. So I need myself a little bit of lapis. 1, 2, 3. And we'll put that back. It's safe and sound. And fortune 3. And efficiency 4. Not bad. That's a pretty good pretty good axe, actually. Only thing that really, I mean, obviously fortune or efficiency 5 and unbreaking 3 would be nice, but you know, that's fine. That's a good place to start. I guess I'll put my my fortune pick away. Now let's take a look at why I got all these lava buckets. I really only need 2 of them right now. And actually I might end up needing some dirt. That's fine. This is what I've sort of come up with for the design of the retaining wall. So we're dealing with a 5 wide, and I went 7 high. I felt a 7 by 5 was a really nice size, I guess, and I may tweak the design a little later on. I'm not sure. This is just like a rough draft, I guess, and it may end up being the permanent thing. Who knows? But what I want to do is I want to come over here, and right here behind the iron bars, I want to dig that all the way down, and then I need to bust onto this side, pardon me, and put that back, and then break this, and yeah, I need up there. Can I please get back up there, please? Thank you. And I'm gonna have to bring this up a little bit, and I'm gonna put in lava and lava. And you know what? Because I've got villagers wandering around here, I'm gonna do this and this. And then this is what it'll look like from this side. And I think that's a pretty good look. It's safe. The villagers can't get in there. The only hazard is if I end up with having like a creeper blow up and let it loose. And I believe the villager AI, even in vanilla, makes them, you know, realize, hey, lava, don't walk here. But I think we'll be pretty safe. And you guys know, if you've watched my other series, how much I love playing with lava and fire and whatnot. So I think this will work pretty well. I may try to do a little bit of detailing along here or something like that. Maybe put a column of cobblestone walls or something. I'm not quite sure. But I do like this design, and I think it'll get the job done. And I'm going to do that all the way around. I also made one other change. I decided to make it, originally it was going to be like the 35 by 35. I decided to extend it by another segment out here, so that it just felt like the original line was going to be right here, and I was like, with the staircase right here, there's 1 segment, and then there's 4 segments, and it just felt really small on this side. So I decided to add an extra segment, so it'll be 4 on that side, 2 on this side, and then the staircase in the middle. So that makes it, what, like, let's see, 35, what, is that like 41, maybe? 41 by 35? I don't know, something like that. Maths, you know, on camera are always tricky. But yeah, I think I'm going to go with this design. The only interesting thing will be what to do in this little bit here, because, I mean, there's not really going to be space for that, I don't think. I also happen to dig out a lot of this stuff, because if this is going to be my ground level down here, that means I have to do quite a bit of digging on that direction, and even over here. Well, maybe not over here, because remember, I don't know what I'm going to do over here, but I'm at least going to do the other 3 sides. And that's why I had to go get, you know, a new shovel, and I was like, you know, I might as well get a new axe while I was at it, because knowing me, I'd break my my crafting bench enough times that I'd forget, and then break my axe as well. But yeah, I think this is going to be pretty good here. I realized I'm going to need to shave this layer of grass as well, so that I can fill it in with like cobble or andesite or something like that. Whatever pattern or floor design I end up coming up with. I might either do an actual design, which could work, because again, we'd be dealing with 5 by 5s. Or I'll just do some mishmash of like cobblestone, andesite, maybe gravel, smooth stone, cracked stone bricks, you know, something like that, where it just sort of has this randomized design, I guess, as if it's like churned up, you know, ground up stone variants, basically. which I've used that before as well. So I don't know if I'm going to go with an actual pattern or just that mishmash. I'm not quite sure yet. But I think we've got a good start here for the retaining walls. So I think in the next coming episodes, we're going to continue working on the retaining wall. Doing a little bit of terraforming around the retaining wall, of course. Focusing on, you know, those 3 sides here. And then once we have the retaining wall and the foundation finished, then we can start planning out the library itself. And I'm kind of excited about this project because so far we've been dealing a lot with the spruce, the oak, and the birch. And I think the library might be the right time. Now that we've got Silk Touch and we're able to reliably get stone and stone bricks, I think the library might be the right time to start getting into a more stone brick designs. And it'll also help it set it apart because, you know, I feel like as a village develops, like in real life too, you start noticing like changes in the design as they learn new techniques and they master new resources and stuff like that. So I think it'll make sense to start doing a little more variation in the designs, and I do love my stone bricks. You guys know I love my stone bricks. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good place for this episode as the sun is coming up behind us. I'm going to go ahead and call this episode here. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you keep on coming back for more. Don't forget, leave me some feedback down below about the mending villager and all that jazz that we talked about at the beginning of the episode. Let me know what you think about the retaining wall idea and the library, and I'll see you next time. So I hope you have a fantastic time, and I'll see you later. Bye!